So here's how this works. As I mentioned, everyone is welcome. So please let folks know if you think that they would benefit from this after we go through this. The themes change every day. So just so you know, we don't do the exact same thing every day, but the theme that ties it all together is these are all practices or behaviors, exercises that stimulate pro-social sense of positivity. And so anyone that you can think of that might benefit from that, please invite them. The format is we'll practice together for 15 minutes, and then we'll have 15 minutes of Q&A. So I'll stick around for another 15 minutes or so afterwards if you have questions about anything that we did in the session today, or even just in general about the clinics and ketamine and how we use the medicine to help with depression and anxiety. Happy to answer any questions. Also know that video participation is optional. I love seeing faces on the calls, but I also know some of you maybe feel shy or don't want to be seen. So if just make sure that you feel comfortable. But if you're willing to leave your video on, that's great, but don't feel forced to do so if that doesn't feel comfortable. And then lastly, you can submit questions through the chat or by raising your hand. There's a feature in Google Meet where you can do that down below. So, okay, so today is Tuesday, and I think of this as Attention Training Tuesday. So attention is one of these, attention can work for us so either for us or against us. So I'm going to show you a picture right now, and I want you to imagine that you are driving in your car, and you're driving pretty fast, and you come around a corner and you suddenly see this in front of you, and you're moving at pretty high speeds. I want you to imagine, just think to yourself, where does your attention go in this picture, right? Like what is it that you end up focusing on? Now, most people, when I ask this question to them, of course, they focus on the big boulder that's in the middle of the road and their car is about to crash into it. So that's a very natural reaction that our primordial brain has. It sees danger and it focuses on it and it says, wow, that's a problem. I need to keep my eye on that, right? So that's all fine and good until you realize that the car is not going to stop in time, right? So if you keep your focus on that boulder, chances are you're actually going to run right into the very danger that you're trying to avoid. So the trick here, the brain hack, is to begin focusing on the empty space to the left of the boulder, because that's where you want your car to go. Now, this is not a natural instinct that we have as humans, and so it's something that we need to train ourselves to do. And I think it's a really beautiful metaphor for anxiety and depression, right? Anxiety and depression register in the human experience as a kind of danger. And so we have this natural tendency to focus on that negativity, when in reality what we need is to learn how to shift our attention to that space beside this big boulder so that we can pass safely through it. So the catchy phrase here is energy follows where our attention goes. Our life energy, our being will go wherever our attention goes. And so what we're going to practice today is working with our attention. And I can only reinforce that the more you practice on a daily basis, working with your attention and becoming familiar with where your attention goes and practicing shifting your attention away from things that feel uncomfortable or that aren't helpful and focusing your attention on things that are in fact going to be helpful to you, that's a fundamental part of this healing process that I'm talking about. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, right? So let's practice. All of you are going to want a pen and paper. This is a two-part practice. The first part is we're going to walk you through a brief meditation, and then I'm going to show you a prompt that you're going to want to journal about. And so those of you that are getting pen and paper, go ahead and do that. And the rest of you, go ahead and close your eyes, and let's practice harnessing our attention. If you're like me, You've been running around all morning already. I've been all over the place. I've been to the gym. I've been working. I've been, answering phones. So my attention feels very distracted right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just closing my eyes and I'm bringing myself into this present moment right here, right now, just for a couple of minutes. I'm going to choose intentionally to focus on my breath. And the reason I'm choosing my breath is because breath is always there and my body knows how to breathe. And I get to kind of take a back seat and just notice what it's like to be me inhabiting this body that is breathing. And the way I'm focusing my attention is I look for the telltale signs in my body that it is breathing. So for example, you might feel cool air coming in through your nostrils. You might feel air passing through your throat. You'll probably feel your shoulders rise and drop with each in-breath and out-breath. Your chest expanding and contracting. And also your belly expanding and contracting. So it doesn't really matter which point you pick, but pick one of those telltale signs of breath entering and leaving your body, and just choose to focus on it. Be fully present for the sensation and the experience of your body breathing and noticing it in that part of your body. And chances are pretty good that by now your mind has already started wandering, starting to think about all kinds of other things except for your breath in this moment. So if that happens, don't worry about it. It's totally fine. It's normal. And just gently bring your attention back to that part of your body that you chose to witness and experience breath. And again, if your mind has wandered off, it's totally fine. Simply notice it and then intentionally choose to bring your attention back to focusing on breath. It's very simple. It's surprisingly difficult to do. So you're not alone if you're having a bit of a hard time keeping your attention on breath. Again, it's just a question of whenever you notice your mind wandering, just make the choice to bring it back. That's the actual practice. So now go ahead and take a deep breath in, filling up your lungs. And on your exhale, go ahead and open your eyes and get out your pen and paper. And you're going to have 3 minutes to write about this prompt. So today I want to focus my attention on And you can just start writing. And I really recommend that you don't overthink this, but that you just let your thoughts flow. So today I want to focus my attention on, don't censor yourself. This is for your eyes only. Just start writing. Just keep the pen moving. If you run out of things to say, literally write that down. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And then just wait for the next thought to pop into your mind. Keep writing for about another 60 seconds. Just keep letting it flow. Don't censor yourself. Just write. Okay, and whatever sentence you're on, just go ahead and finish that sentence up. And then put your pen down. Shake out your hand. And we're not going to do this now just for the sake of time, but I recommend that when we hang up, that before you get going with the next thing in your busy life, just take a moment to read through what you wrote down and let that be your meditation for the day. You know, just notice what it's like to remember that you can focus your attention on anything of your choosing, and that energy flows wherever your attention goes. So it's kind of like a superpower to be able to harness your attention in that way. Also, if you have any questions, you can always set up a time with me, citclinics.com/Oli. You can just book a time on my calendar that works for you, so we can talk about either this exercise, or we can talk about psychedelic medicine, anything that's of interest to you. I'm happy to spend the time to help you understand more about what we do and why we do it the way that we do it, and how it all works. And otherwise, it's 12:16, so we went over by a minute. Thanks for participating. Hope to see as many of you as possible tomorrow, when we will do something a little bit different, but along the same lines of what we just did here. So If you want to stick around for Q&A, I'll be around. Otherwise, have a great day.
It looks like maybe there's one question, a hand raised. Anne, do you have a question?
All right. Lila, you guys off? You good?
Yep.
I've got a
raised hands.
Anne, are you doing okay? Steve?
I have a question. I didn't make it yesterday. I made it
Hang
today.
on, Steve, I can't hear you.
Okay, that was my question.
Steve, unfortunately, it sounds like you can hear me, but I can't hear you on your headset.
Uh,
Do you feel like you want to touch base, Steve, or are you okay? Because we can also get on a phone call if you'd like. You want to call? I can't hear you. Shall we call? I'll give you a call. All right, I'll call you right now. Bye, Delilah. Bye, Megan. Thank you.